Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mimi. Today we're going through what data modeling is in Power BI. Data modeling is a big term. All it just means is connecting your data. Sometimes you have data coming from multiple sources, even data that comes from the same source. Sometimes you need to connect them. And data modeling is all about connecting your data, the relationship type. You have to look at the different columns that you have in your table to know how you can connect this, because your visualization is dependent on your model. So you can have a student information and student billing information. Well, what is common between these two data is student information, maybe the student ID, the student name, the student email. So we're going to be looking at what is common between these two data sources in order to join them so that we can go from one data source into another. Maybe we want to filter on the student's location, the university, and we can use that to go into the student billing information with the power of relationship. And we're going to be doing that today in this video. Stay tuned. Let's get started. So right now we just open up Power BI and we don't have any file, any data here. So we're going to be using these two files. This one has the student information like their ID, their name, gender, phone number, and stuff like that. While this one has the student ID, the class code, and the cost of that class. Okay, so now let's bring this into Power BI. I'm going to be leaving a link to those files in the description box so you can follow along. You can download it. So now let's go to get data. We're going to bring the data in. Get data. Okay. And because this file right here is a CSV file, so in Power BI, we're going to say CSV right here. Click it and say connect. It's going to open up your folder and you can bring the student's file, say open, and this is going to show you all the columns and some of the data that you have right here. We need to click on transform data, and this will open up Power Query for us. And now that we have the student information here, let's bring in the billing. So we're going to go here that says new source. We're going to go here that says CSV, and now we need to bring in the student class billing. So I'm going to click it and I'll click on open, and this will bring that file into here, and we can just click OK. And now we have the student's billing information. We can see that all the data type, meaning this is 1 to 3. If you look up here, it's a whole number. This is also 1 to 3. This is fixed decimal number. And if we go here, all this seems to be fine. This is also an integer. These are all text. And if I scroll to the side, this is our text. So everything seems to be fine. So here we just click on close and apply, and this will bring those data into Power BI. If we go here to the model right here, Power BI did this connection for us automatically based on this information. As you can see here, the student ID in here, student ID, they are both spelled the same way. So Power BI thinks, oh, I see they have the exact same name, I'm just going to join them together. So let's delete this so we can do it ourselves. So I'm going to right click on this line. I'm going to click on delete and say yes. So I'm going to do this. We're going to do the connection ourselves. But you can ask me like, okay, why do we even need to connect this? We already have our data. The reason why we need to connect is, let me show us. Right here, let's say we have a table. I'm going to bring in a table here. And let's say, okay, we have all the students' information. Maybe the student ID, if they're a citizen or not. And then this one is doing a count. We don't want it to count. So we say don't summarize so that we can see everybody. Let's see their name and their gender. Okay, so let's say someone is asking, okay, can you even give me all the students that are US citizen? Okay, we can filter that here. We just bring a slicer. We see US citizen. We can say, okay, I want to see yes. I want to see no. We can see that this is moving. That's fine. But let's say somebody said, okay, I want to see all this student information here. I just duplicated this so that we have another slicer. I'm going to delete this. Let's say we bring in the class code. Say we want to see all the students that are taking a particular class. So let's say we want to see 100. See, this is not changing. Why is it not changing? Because in the backend, they don't have any connection. This class code right here is coming from the student class billing, and all this information here, they are all coming from the student data right here. So if you click this till tomorrow, it's not going to do anything because in the back they don't have any connection. It's like the child does not know the mother. We need to bring them together and introduce them to themselves. So how do we do that? You just need to look at your data and say, okay, they don't have to be the same name. This one could have been stud ID and this could have been just ID. Sometimes you have different names. You can rename them. For example, I can rename this right here. I just double click it and I can say, okay, this is now ID, and click enter. So now let's say this is how you got your data. This is an ID. This is student ID. We need to bring them together. How do we do that? You just need to click on this and drag it. See, I'm holding onto it, and you put it on the student ID. You don't want to put it on anything else but the student ID. So now I'm going to release it, and Power BI will make the connection here. And when you put your cursor on the line, you will see that it's highlighting that they are connected by student ID and by ID here. And if you look to the right, it will tell you that the student's class billing table with column of ID, this ID column is connected to the student table based on the student ID. The cardinality, meaning that the relationship type, because we have different relationship. The relationship type for this one, as we can see, is many to one. So we can see this just means that, okay, many children can belong to one mother. Many can belong to one mother. Now, you can see here that I skipped this cross filter direction here. This right now is saying single, meaning that if you look here, we can filter from here, we can filter all the way down here. That's fine. Why? Because if you look at this arrow, it's pointing towards here. I like to say that I'm traveling from here, I'm walking. I can see that the arrow is pointing here, so I can go here. But I don't see any arrow coming this way, meaning that I cannot just come and come and come. I don't have a way of coming in. There's no arrow. And how do we know that? If we go back here still and say, okay, let's filter class code, it's still not filtering even though we have the relationship set up. So how do we fix that? This we can fix if we really want to filter from here, from the class billing to student, then we will need to make this to be both. Both meaning that I can filter from here and I can filter from here. So pay attention. If I change this to both, you'll see that the arrow will change. So let's say both. Apply changes. Now we can see that we have arrow going both ways, meaning that we can filter from here, we can go there, and we can filter from here, we can come here. So now if we go back to the view, you see now it's showing us that these two people are taking this class. If we say this, only this person is taking 108. If we say 100, then we have 3 people. And we can also use the citizen slicer. So say no, say yes, only 1%. We can clear this. So this is all modeling in Power BI. The one thing you have to remember is the cardinality. The cardinality meaning that the relationship type. So this from class billing to student is a many to one relationship, meaning that many classes can be taken by one student. Many children can belong to the same mother or the same parent. And always remember that this cross filter direction just tells you what direction do you want me to go. How do I filter this down? Can I go from A to B? Can I go from B back to A? And you see that when this was a single direction, meaning that from one side I can go into the many side, we were not able to filter here. We had to turn this on to both so that we can go from both direction. And now you can create all your visual based on this model.